Hello, patrons. I'm trying to come up with an intro, and I can't come up with anything, so hello.
It works.
Welcome, patrons. This is our video about our studio. I hope you enjoy our tour. Welcome, all Patreon patrons. This is probably going to be the hardest video I'm going to record for this entire stream because we're going to be talking about our system, our studio, and all the hardware that we use to put this stream and our recorded videos and everything together. This studio has been built out probably for over the past year, really. My computer build was originally built out to handle 8K footage on professional multi-million-dollar film sets, and it handled that quite well, but transitioning it and making it so that it was a great streaming machine took some work and tinkering as well. So let's talk about that. So just to go over the specs on the computer itself, it is a custom-built computer. So we're going to start with the processor. The processor is a 7900K Intel processor. It is a 10-core processor with, I think, 12 megabytes of RAM on the L3 cache. But really, this processor is an absolute beast. I'm able to process in real time 8K footage through there, and that's 8K footage at 16-bit. So putting through all the graphics, the video input, plus the gaming and chat and everything else going on, my processor takes it really well, and I never go above 20% when it puts everything out. To help out the processor, I'm using 64 gigabytes of DDR4 quad channel RAM. Quad channel RAM. The quad channel RAM really helps out disperse everything that's coming into it as far as our audio, and again, our graphics are huge RAM eaters, and as well as some of the browser inputs that we put for Chrome also eats up a lot of RAM space. To keep that processor under control, I have it liquid cooled with a dual rad expanded Corsair. I believe it's an H110i cooler. Liquid cooling is an absolute must when you're running your computer for long hours on end. It really protects it. There's a lot of people out there who really still love fan coolers, but liquid cooler is the way to go. Just get over it. The motherboard is an Asus X299 chipset motherboard. It's the Asus Prime motherboard. It is the first generation of it, not the second version of it. I got it when it came out right away. I do have Thunderbolt 3 on it, which is amazing. Helps us out a lot when we transfer all of our footage out to our drives, which is a ton of footage when we record our games. We record them at the highest bitrate possible, which is up to 4K 60 frames per second at almost 30,000 kilobits per second. Right now on the computer, I also have a 1080 Ti ROG graphics card. The Asus ROG overclocked graphics card helps us out greatly when encoding and transcoding our footage when we're ready to edit it. As far as live streaming goes, it doesn't help out too much, and we still use the H.264 software encoding because we believe that that's better than using the NVIDIA HVNC hardware encoding that is built in with the graphics card. We are looking to upgrade the graphics card soon to the 3000 series that was just launched. I did not jump onto the 2000 series bandwagon just right away because I was worried about ray tracing issues. And hopefully, with some of the reports that will be slowly leaked out over time, the 3000 series will be a lot better at ray tracing and will have a lot more support. As far as hard drives for our system, holy crap. So let's add it up. So my main hard drive, my C drive, is a 1 terabyte Samsung M.2 drive. My gaming drive, or a recording drive when we're recording on OBS, is a standard 2.5 inch SSD, also 1 terabyte. I believe that one is a Munchkin, is how you pronounce it, drive. While we're editing, we transfer that over to one of two 4 terabyte Western Digital Black rotating disk hard drives. Now we use the rotating disk hard drives because of the capacity. Solid state, although better, the mechanical drives and having all of your footage, graphics, everything, and audio all in one place while you're editing is great. Now, since we are a larger company and there's a lot of people that work for us, we also have a huge NAS system setup, so a network attached storage system. So right now we're a little bit on the cheap side, but we are using a Western Digital MyBook NAS drive. It's a dual drive. On that has two USB 3.0 ports. Connected to those USB 3.0 ports, we have a monstrous 24 terabyte 4-disc RAID drive that we're going to be storing and archiving a lot of our footage that we just can't delete or get rid of, or we may be using for future projects. We also have another 8 terabyte drive attached to that as well for graphics, long-term storage for business and information. And then of course, the dual drive itself that is the NAS drive that's plugged directly into the router that everyone's able to access is also 4 terabytes. And all of our live files live there. So anything that we're using for graphics for current streaming and everything gets uploaded to that with whoever was assigned to work on the graphics. The software that we use for running our stream is OBS Studio. We tried out Streamlabs for a long time and ran into numerous problems on top of problems on top of problems. Every time we would launch the program, a setting or something would change, and it was completely unreliable. With the way that we're doing our streams nightly and with different people, we needed to make sure that it was reliable, that we could just turn it on, plug things in, and go. So we made sure that OBS Studio was set up to the nth degree of every setting and profile we could ever think of. That way, when people come and stream, it's really nice and easy to use. And so far, we've been a couple weeks into the switch, and we are absolutely in love with it and glad we did. So all the inputs into the stream that you hear and see, of course, have to go into the computer. So to start, we're using a Lumix GH4 Panasonic camera. This camera was my first camera that I bought in film school, and it's been absolutely amazing. I've used it for everything. Right now in my career, when I'm working as a contracting site for filmmaking, we rent out better, higher-end equipment, and my camera has kind of retired to be used as a glorified webcam. But the reason why we use this camera is because it's great bit depth, it's great lens that it has on it, so that way we could cancel out the green screen that's behind me and make sure that everything just looks crisp and solid for the stream. That GH4 camera goes directly into an Elgato Camlink 4K device. This comes out of the camera as mini HDMI, goes into a full-size HDMI, into the Camlink, and then into the computer with 3.0 support. The 3.0 drive is way better than the 2.0 drive that we were using initially with the first generation Camlinks came out. And matter of fact, we burned it out. If you haven't noticed in the past couple of weeks, we've actually been having a lot of stall outs and a lot of freezing with our camera. It's because we literally burned the processor out of this thing.
Hold please. Sam's gotta fix things.
Is it because of that cord?
Who knows?
Alright. At least we have somebody.
There's a Sam going.
Hi,
And
Sam.
Magic. Sam's gone.
I'm back.
I'm not good at sharing, sorry.
The camera froze.
We're here. We're back. I'm back.
Frozy camera.
Frozy cam.
That's not allowed to happen, guys.
Frozy cam. I like the
I
sound.
fixed it.
So, our camera was too powerful for this, but works great with the new 4K. And since you can't even buy the 1080p version anymore, just don't get a used one, just get the 4K. It works better. Along with video, audio is equally, if not more important. Over the past 8 months since we started doing this stream, we have gone through many different changes for our audio. Our very first stream, which was almost an absolute mess for audio, we were trying to use professional wireless lav mics going into what would be a field recorder on a film set and then into the computer. It did not work out well at all. So then we decided, let's get a soundboard and let's use headsets. We were a little broke, so we used the headsets first. Trying to plug in more than 2 headsets into a computer to use in a stream, and Streamlabs at least, was incredibly hard to do. So we buckled down, we saved up some money, and we got the soundboard. The soundboard helped out a lot, but we ran into a huge problem. The problem is that our headsets, although gaming headsets, carry a completely different type of voltage than what the mixer/soundboard puts out, which is 48 volts. Where our gaming headsets really only use about 2 to 7 volts, depending on its size and use case. So we came up with a solution. These little devices plug into the XLR, they bring down the voltage, and then send that exact voltage that the headset needs. Now, these are a great way for us to do our streams. We used it for months. But recently we've moved into a bigger space and we needed longer cables. When we switched out to those longer cables from 10 foot to 25, the voltage didn't carry anymore and we couldn't use it. Also in that transition, we were looking to do a podcast, so we bought these great new microphone seals. So now we just use these for our stream because it goes straight into our mixer, carries appropriate voltage, and just works a billion times better, and we love them. The next part, and of course the most important part, is gaming. You need to watch us game, of course. So we're using an Elgato capture card. Now we're not using a 4K capture card just yet, maybe in the future, but we are using a 1080p capture card. It's HDMI in, HDMI out, and USB 3.0 out. It's as simple as that. This way we make sure that our video quality is at the highest that it can be and is consistent with every stream. Of course, we can't just always play the latest and greatest games because of who we are, and we like the flavor of changing things up for people. And we believe it makes it more entertaining than just playing the same game every single time. So to make sure for retro games, we did get an adapter so that way we can connect our retro gaming systems up to the HDMI input so that way we can stream those right along with no problem, just like we do with everything else. Let's talk about our lighting in our studio. Our lighting in our studio when we started out pretty freaking rough. I have various film lights for various jobs, and I thought that this would be the job when we first started out for my huge 1K halogen film lights. Sam and I roasted. They were incredibly hot. They were also noisy when the fan kicks in, and they weren't daylight balanced, they were tungsten balanced, which is pretty good for a film set if you're filming short films or commercials, but for a live stream, it did not look good at all. So we buckled down and we got some new light bulbs for my 500 watt sets. So these 500 watt set softboxes look amazing, and we only had 2 of them for the longest time. And when we moved up to the bigger green screen, it created some issues. We needed a lot more lighting. So again, went online and got some Amazon basic LED lights. Those LED lights are the ones that are directly in front of me lighting me, and the 2 500 watt LEDs are the ones that are lighting the green screen and behind me just a little bit, so that way I pop from the green screen. Lighting is very important. All the other odds and ends that we picked up over time are of course to help us out. We picked up an Elgato Stream Deck just recently, so that way we can switch a little bit easier between different scenes. And you know how we do on our stream if you've seen us. We like to change things up and make it as professional as possible. We also got a great 40-inch TV for us to watch our gaming on instead of our small 27-inch computer monitor. And we also gained another monitor, which was very old, but works perfect as a chat monitor, so that way as we're gaming, we can respond instantly to your chats. And with all of this together, we have gotten our stream down to a 4-second lag, which for our area in Tucson is absolutely amazing. And I've heard only in LA and New York and other major cities that they've gotten it only down to about a 2-second lag because the YouTube servers are just that much closer. But we think we're doing pretty good here out in the middle of the sandbox of Tucson, Arizona. So yeah, this is our studio. All of our gaming systems, all of our wires, all of our craziness that goes on here has been built up by me and Sam over time to be as professional, crisp, and reliable as possible. We're going to be able to put all the links of all the stuff that we use down below so that way you can go and buy it. But really, it's all about know-how. I don't want to say that not anybody can just set up and stream, but it takes some know-how. Right now, working with my little adopted brother, he's 13, pretty tech savvy. He's still having some issues with some of the streaming software issues that we're working out with him as well. So it takes time. It's not very easy to do, especially not at this level and this quality. So this video, although was our first major Patreon video that we created other than Avery's haircut, because that was just way too much fun. We had to get that on there before the holidays. Our next Patreon videos are going to be a lot more fun. We're going tabletop. Our initial vision and dream for our stream was going to be all tabletop, but because we're perfectionists and filmmakers, we wanted to do a multi-camera setup that was a full studio with the space, have all these different things going on, but we're just not quite there yet to support it. So our Patreon viewers are going to see what we can do with what little we have and help us build that up over time. I don't know what our first game is going to be, but keep posted to our social media and our links, and you're going to get a game, themed drinks, and a themed snack to go along with that game, which was our initial vision for this stream. So I hope you enjoy it and look forward to the next video. But most importantly to us is our new Patreon followers. We started Patreon because we are investing in more equipment, we are getting even more professional, and we are shrinking a lot of the things that we're doing to a more planned size. And you guys are allowing us to do that, and we thank you greatly, so much. You really don't know how much it means to us. Although we're starting out small with a little bit of money here and there, it does help out. Also, with our sponsor Bookmans, we're able to bring you any games that we want, or any games that you want to see, to the stream. So keep that in mind. As our Patreon members, you're able to dictate what we play next. We are here for our fans, and not just for us. And then, of course, you got all the social medias like the Facebooks and, the Grams. And we're not doing Snapchat. I'm sorry, Knight, but I don't know the Snapchats. I don't do the interwebs too well with the social media stuff. I don't know. Things. Sam put me on camera. Scary. Hello, everybody.
Toss it.
Sam told me to tell you that you can see the lights in my glasses.
They're beautiful. It works.